6, 7, 8. Good morning. It's pouring rain outside. I am feeling so much exhaustion. Excuse me. I feel like maybe what I'm here to do is just to bring in the collective energy and then how it's affecting us individually through my own personal experience. And I don't know where it's coming from or that information or idea, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to roll with it and just let some things unfold. First off, thank you for being here. My name is Randy. Welcome to my cozy corner. Technically, this is not the cozy corner, but this is cozy corner number 2, aka my living room with me and Mr. Blue. He's just my snuggle companion throughout these conversations, and I'm excited to bring forth some beautiful knowledge, wisdom, and often a lot of how I relate to it as a human being, in hopes that that will help my fellow brothers and sisters, soul tribe, make sense of what the fire truck we are navigating in this beautiful journey we call life, with a little bit of emotional awareness, spiritual awareness. I'm going to apologize in advance if I am coughing or sniffling. I'm going to try not to sniffle in the mic. But yeah, let's just tinker around. I don't know how long this is going to go cuz my setup isn't as ideal as I'd like it to be this morning, but I just got to talk about some stuff with you guys and gals. Some of the things that have been coming through journaling that felt really significant to share. It's all mind games. Okay, wait, hold on. This was one of my favorite ones recently. It's all mind games. You actually must choose which you want to play. Okay. So let's paint the picture. Let's create a frame. This comes from the accumulated experience of witnessing that life is just perception. It's between what's happening, what you experience in life, or what I experience in life, is what's happening between this year and this year, and nothing else. And if I take it into like neurolinguistics programming, which I've studied for well over 5 years, we have lenses in our brain, and these lenses come from, religion or the way we've grown up or the type of society we grow up in or culture or family, right? There's all different kinds of things that create these lenses, but they are the filters in which we perceive life through. And so if you have a filter, these can also be known as beliefs, like belief systems. So if you have a filter that says life is just suffering, then that is a lens, that is a filter that you perceive life through. And so this at one point in my life when I was 18 years old and graduating, I remember being at my graduation, and I smoked cigarettes at the time, and I was really unwell and in heavy addiction, and I my mom watched me throw a cigarette butt on the ground. And don't get me wrong, I have most definitely picked up my fair share of random cigarette butts due to my actions as a young adult. And so what she said to me was um you're just gonna throw that on the ground or something along these lines. And what went through my brain was like, yeah, like life is just slowly killing us anyways, and we're just here to suffer. So what's the effing point? And I remember this so vividly because it's when I actually came to the realization that I wholeheartedly believed that life was just suffering and that there was nothing more to it. There was, you know, I didn't recall. I'm sure there was love, there was motherly love and brother and sisterly love, but I didn't recall like a lot of joyous moments at that point, being 18, fully immersed in drug addiction. And, so that is a perspective that I've lived from. And then alternatively, if I think of a contrasting experience, which would be where I came home from being in Costa Rica. I was in Costa Rica for 3 weeks. I went back to the same place I always go to, Uvita, and around the time of the Envision Music Festival, and I always go and I spend some time down there roughly every 2 years. This actually would be the first year that I'm not going down there. Normally I go in February every 2 years, and I've done that for 6 years or so, so 3 times. And so I go back to the same place, but this is the first time I've traveled alone. And not to make this story too long, but when I was there, it was after COVID, and my perception of reality was really like, I should say my lenses were very fear-based. They were insecure, they were scared, like everything was scary. And so going and traveling on my own, even though it's a foreign country, but a familiar place where I also knew people, I know people in town, I have kind of like extended family, you could say, out there. And excuse me. I was there for 3 weeks and just feeling so unsafe. I felt very restricted because of my financial state. I felt very unsafe because it was my first time traveling alone, and I didn't fully understand. So basically, I experienced like this really really like scary, it was really scary trip. Like it had its highs, but until I got to maybe festival grounds, in between it was just survival. It was like, okay, find a ride, but don't get in the wrong taxi with somebody who's going to steal your money, or you know what I mean? There was these little things that just really made me scared inside myself. And then I came back home, and I had never felt this way about where I lived. I love where I live. I feel very blessed to live where I do, but I hadn't really realized how privileged it is to feel safe to walk around the street and to wear whatever I want and know that, like, I always felt like I had to cover myself up in Costa Rica, and it's so hot. And certain areas that I had gone through, I felt like I couldn't be wearing my jewelry, or I couldn't, and this could be me playing mental games with myself and just, really in the depth of insecurity and traveling alone. But yeah, I felt like, wearing my bathing suit on the beach was sometimes like too vulnerable. Whereas I came back home here and was just so grateful that I could walk around and feel safe. Like I can leave my door unlocked and I know I'm safe, and I can walk to the grocery store and I don't have to worry about like making a key shank between the thumb in case anybody's going to approach me. There was none of that. And so this contrasting experience really showed me like perception is all there ever is. And so leading up to when I wrote this, it's all mind games. You actually must choose which you want to play, because something else that's been coming up a lot recently, and I've also said in recent past, is what character do you want to play? Like, what character do you want to play in this game called life? Because I've played many of the characters, and I find that whatever character I play, and when I say character, this could mean identity, this could mean, um, like, as an example, for 3 years, I played the victim character, where the world was out to get me, and sure as shit, everything that happened felt like it was out to get me. I just affirmed the character that I was playing. And so we don't necessarily have to, like, we have a choice. Of course, we can't change our external reality. And if you're in a buttload of debt and are, living on the basement floor of mommy's house, um, like, yeah, that's where you are. And the first step is radical acceptance for where we are in order for us to move forward to where we want to be. And so if you're playing victim and you're in a situation that is feeling really harsh and is feeling like you're what do you call that? Like the basement or your rock bottom, you could say. Or maybe not rock bottom, but close to. Um, like you can still choose what character you want to play in that position. And I find that playing the character that um chooses to have faith in the unknown and the unseen and believing that there is a greater unfolding happening for you no matter what your reality is. I feel like that character holds a lot more hope and a lot more um just ease in living within yourself regardless of your external reality. Like I know that like, yeah, being in, like, I lived in my mom's garage at one point because I had no housing and I was in a lot of debt and I was in transition between, where I wanted to live and what I wanted to do with my life. And my mom's garage is full of stuff, like any normal garage is. Not one that you put cars in, one that is like storage. And I we built me a little cubby corner and stacked boxes to, make walls. Like we made me walls and put like a little space heater in there. And I just remember being so grateful. Like I'm sleeping on this like foam thing in the corner of a concrete garage. But I was just so grateful that I had this corner because sleeping in the truck was so uncomfortable. Is the most uncomfortable thing. Nice truck, but like shittiest sleeping space. And it's hard to wake up and like enjoy your day when you're so sore and tired. But still, you you have to choose which character you want to play in these scenarios, and there's various characters that you can play. You can be mad at the world and be angry, or you can be grateful for even having what there is to have. That being said, don't dismiss that you're sad or unhappy with where you are. This isn't a means to suppress what we're feeling. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Yeah, sure. Feel the grief, feel the anger, feel the despair, because that was also part of that process for me. Like, I had to be really angry at myself, but I couldn't hold on to that because holding on to that anger is what would keep me in a lesser than satisfactory place of living within myself. And, you know, I feel like collectively right now, there's a lot of moments in life where we have to sit at the edge of our bed and be really honest with ourselves. Like, get real. Like, this isn't working. The way I've been living my life is not working, or whatever that is, right? and just getting radically honest, and then finding that radical acceptance with that is kind of like key to be able to change the character that we're playing, right? I'm going to read this again. It's all mind games. You must actually choose within. Sorry, that's not what it says. You must choose, excuse me, which you want to play. And so I'm really showing like various perspectives of how we can look at this concept, I guess, of life, that it's mental. Life is mental. And if you want to live a good life, then you need to create it inside of your head, right? Like, what are the stories you're telling yourself? The stories I've been telling myself are at extremes. Like, I have stories that lift me up to the mountain tops and conquer Mount Everest. But then I also have stories that will bury me alive. And so the beauty in this awareness is realizing that, okay, we can create some mid-ground stories. Like, we don't need such extremes. And perhaps having the extreme of Mount Everest is what causes the extreme of burying myself alive. and and so it's really, I've really, and the reason I share it here is because like this awareness alone is allowing me to be like, oh yeah, I can choose. I can choose this situation. As an example, I got sick and then I went through my emotional response, which is like going through the emotional wheel. That's how I process things. Um, for myself is going through all of the emotions to come to like a center point within myself. And when I got really sick over the weekend and I was angry and I was fighting it and I was just like resisting and not really obviously sad and grieving and feeling like, ah, what did I do wrong? Like, how did I get sick? And, you know, and then came, after I allowed myself to go through the full process of my emotions and feeling them all, I realized that, well, I didn't realize actually I asked for that guidance. I was like, what is this, spirit, God, deities? Um, I asked my angels like, what? And they were just like affirming like, congratulations. And I was like, well, that's weird, cuz I don't feel like celebrating. But I recognize what, in that moment, like, you can choose. I can choose. What character do I want to play right now? Do I want to play the character that is wholeheartedly trusting in divinity to have my back and the universe as my partner? So if I'm getting sick, it's just the universe giving me a breather to really like regroup and recover and heal whatever needs to be healed? Or do I want to look through the lens of like, oh, this always happens to me. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. Fear, fear, fear. How is all everything gonna work out when I'm sick? I can't control anything when I'm in bed. All of the, and again, like, that's where focus goes, energy flows. This beautiful thing that keeps coming in for me, and it really keeps coming up today as well, is, what game do you want to play? Do you want to play the victim game? Do you want to play, like, what character do you want to play? What, and if this isn't resonating for you in that sense, what do you want to feel? How do you want to feel throughout your everyday life? Is it angry and stubborn and resistant and resentful, or is it forgiving and trusting and calm? Ah, wow, and even saying that, like, I watch my body, like, surrender. Because it's that simple question you can ask yourself countless times a day. How do I want to feel? At ease. So if I want to feel at ease when my dog vomits on my really nice rug, how will I respond? Because I used to respond with anger and frustration, and now that I don't want to feel that way, I don't want to feel angry, I don't want to feel frustrated. I mean, you can if it's necessary. Of course, I'm going to be like, ugh, but am I going to allow it to really get to me and 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 then get mad at him because he can't control his projectile? And he's a dog, so he's not like, oh, not on the rug, you know? And we have this ability to choose. And I think we forget that as human beings, or it's been beaten out of us through the industrial, whatever you call it, through the ancestral slavery that goes back as far as, you know, as far as I know. Like the entire school system is made to um you know, it's not made for our benefit, that's for damn sure. It's not made for the benefit of our well-being and our health. It's all a training game to forget. It's all a training game to take you away from what is really required to not just survive, because that's what they want. They or whatever that is. It's just a game of survival. And if we learn that that game of survival is actually training the mind, then we can take it out of survival to thrival. I don't know if thrival is a word, but I'm going to make it one. Like we deserve to feel good. Bottom line. What if that was just the bottom line? We deserve to feel good. Okay? It doesn't mean like I deserve to have millions of dollars and the world worships me. Like, no. It's just simple. I deserve to feel good. That's not too much to ask for. And so that's the character that I want to play. The character that just deserves to feel good. She just wants to feel good. I want to feel love in my heart, peace in my mind, and fun in my life. That's a pretty fun, easy, basic foundation. And I think it should be the bare minimum. Peace in your mind, love in your heart, fun in your life. Otherwise, we just run a rat race. And I don't know about you, but I'm opting out of the rat race. So I'm going to read it once more. It's all mind games. You actually must choose which you want to play. So, what mind game are you playing with yourself, with your life? Is it benefiting your life or is it harming your life? Is it making you feel better or is it making you sick? Mm. For any of you that are still here with me, excuse me, thank you so much in advance for your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly, truly appreciate all of you. I've just reached my 100 subscribers, and I am so, so grateful to be developing such a beautiful community of Soul Tribe around being my most authentic self. And so, for those of you that are supporting me, thank you so much. I am so grateful. So, 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 so grateful to each and every one of you. So, thank you. And I hope in some way, shape, or form, what I am bringing to you today is going to help you in some way in your journey. And if anything, a little bit of entertainment through your day and some beautiful questions to ponder within yourself and a reflection to take you into maybe some higher levels and more joyful life existence. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much again. I love you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed till next time. Bye.